Yes guys, what is up? Welcome to Supercars of London and welcome to episode 3 of hunting down a cheap supercar to import from the Middle East. Now behind me are two very good daily drivers. We have got a hardcore version, the Vauxhall Astra VXR, and we have also got a VW Golf GTI. But if you already recognise this place, we're down at VVS, and behind me we have got two supercars sub £100,000 here in the UK. But that means abroad in the Middle East, these cars are incredibly cheap. A 430, Aziz was saying, is around £50,000-60,000. And this Lamborghini Gallardo Ep.3 Spider here is around 100 grand, but we saw one for sale for £84,000. Now this series is myself and Eurospares as we combine our heads and our wallets to bring you an imported cheap supercar. And today I'm going to be putting these two cars to the test. The next couple of episodes are going to be taken probably down at VVS because their used stock list is incredible and so much depth that we can take a Ferrari and a Lamborghini head to head. We can then go and try 458s, F12s, Ferrari FFs, and potentially a Ferrari 599. But first, 430 versus Lamborghini Gallardo. Let's get this show on the road. Right then, I do believe, trying to rack my brains, this is the first time that I'm going to drive a 430 on public roads. I really don't think, I'm trying to wrap my brains, I don't think I've driven one before. I've obviously driven 430s when I worked at HR Owen, so I know how they work. Got the check okay, yep. There we go. Naturally aspirated V8. Let's take it out of auto mode, I think. Single clutch gearbox, F1 style paddles. Let's see how we get on. The front wheel arches are incredibly prominent. Front parking sensors? Maybe. This feels super weird. It's loud, it's so loud inside. There really isn't much sound deadening. You can just hear and see the V8 behind. Now driving both the Ferrari and the Lamborghini, they're going to be fairly short test drives. It's just to get an idea of what we can expect from buying a car that's this old. In terms of the engine, it feels responsive. The gearbox is solid. I'm lifting every time that I change gear, very similar to my Murcielago. Feels nimble. It feels like a Ferrari. It feels like it's got that crisp, sharp steering, but is so nimble, pinpoint, and a precision supercar. Might have to open a window, you know. Whoa! This is so alien to me. A Ferrari in front, a Ferrari steering wheel in front, sorry. The wing mirrors, I just keep looking through the wing mirrors because I'm like, this is not what I'm used to. Mid-engine V8, this is where I feel Ferrari nailed their supercars. Of course the front engines are more GT, but the mid-engine V8s were really where it was at. And yes, you can argue that the 360 looked slightly better than the 430 and the 458 looked better than the 430. This was the ugly sibling in the product range, but then the 430 Scuderia, if you can get a sub £100,000 Scuderia from the Middle East, Oh, it's quick. It is quick. And I have to say, I'm seriously impressed with how this car has aged. It is really, really nice inside. We've got the traditional Daytona style seats. I like the spec on this. I think it's an America spec with the colour. The interior is actually a dark navy blue. Not really what you're used to seeing in the UK. But this, for country road bashing, is not a bad option. I haven't even put my foot down once. I have a feeling that given the nature and history of Ferraris versus Lamborghinis, this is going to feel like a ballerina in comparison to the sledgehammer of the Lamborghini Gallardo. Quite similar in size. Obviously the Gallardo's got the V10, but the gearing and the calibration of that electronic gearbox, this is really smooth. In comparison to what the E-gear is like on the Gallardo. Let's put it into auto. Okay, it's a little bit lurchy. Sounds awesome. Love the sound of it. Front end turns in. Really, really, really cool. I do like this. But I can't help but think, if these are 50 grand and 458s creep under 100 grand, why wouldn't you go for a 458? Alright then, back to familiar territory with a Lamborghini steering wheel in front of me. We are now in a Gallardo LP560-4 Spider. This has been for sale VVS for a couple of months now, and I have to say, this is probably the ultimate spec. White with white leather, and we have got a diamond cut Cordiella wheel, I think is the right word for it, with the 5.2 litre V10. What you can't see is the pedals are so off-center. My feet are basically facing towards the passenger seat. I know there's something about convertibles, and the noise and the connection that you have with the car is totally different to that of the coupe. But I have to say that the sound on the 430 has really resonated with me, much more than I was expecting. It actually sounded really, really, really cool. But that's not to say that the Gallardo, just because it's got 2 extra cylinders, sounds better. It is such a great car. It has its imperfections, but that makes it so good. And as long as you don't drive it in automatic, you're going to get so much enjoyment. And the steering is still quite agile. The car is small, it's light. You can really get the most out of this car, especially on roads like this, so close to VVS. And obviously Eurospares, they're Ferrari, Lamborghini and Maserati specialists, so there are opportunities to buy 430, 458, Gallardo, bring them back to the UK and then use the stock that Eurospares have got to customize and configure to an amazing specification, because Eurospares stock depth is insane. They will have so many different types of wheels from Lamborghini for the Gallardo that it really is a great car to be doing. But there is something in me that screams and reaches to Ferrari that little bit more, because I've never done it. Seeing as this series is so unique and so different to anything that I've done before in terms of purchasing a car, it would be a little bit boring if I went Lamborghini. Are they ready for the downshift? this is four-wheel drive as opposed to the rear-wheel drive Ferrari. You can tell it's through the front of the car, it's through the steering, and one thing that the Ferrari has is that nimbleness through the steering, a much better feel. As you're going through the corners, you feel more in control and you feel more confident in the car when you turn in, that you're going to have a much better response from that car in the balance, the weight, the power delivery, everything. This is a great car, and I loved my Lamborghini Gallardo, but this is just everything that I was expecting. To drive a Ferrari and a Lamborghini back to back, you can really see the characteristics and the flaws of both of their cars, and why there is a divide between Ferrari fans and Lamborghini fans, because they're so different but compete in the same market. But now that I've driven a Lambo, I kind of feel like it should be a Ferrari. It should be a Ferrari with Eurospares. Their history and their passion towards the brand, it makes sense. But there's no getting away from the fact that I think this car is better than the 430. What a car! Okay, I think it is safe to say that my Lamborghini biasness has come through, but as first experiences go in that Ferrari 430, I have to say that the sound carried through the interior amazingly. It drove very, very well, and you could definitely tell that it was a Ferrari. And I know that sounds weird, but now, in this current day and age with the 488, if you were to drive a 488 back-to-back with a McLaren 720S, I don't think there would be that much of a difference as there is in something like that versus that. That is a 2006 430 for sale here at around £75,000. This is a 2011, potentially a 2012 Lamborghini Gallardo. Slight time difference, age difference, but I have to say, both of them have aged incredibly. And I have to say, maybe I'm from this era, but this really feels like the first generation of the single clutch automated F1 paddle style gearbox. It adds character to the car, and that is what I love so much, and that's what I've learned today. We've taken from this day that the Lamborghini is a really good car, but the Ferrari has something different about it. So I'm going to come back to VVS because they are telling me that they are going to be taking delivery of a left-hand drive 458 Italia. So I will not only get to drive a Ferrari 458, not sure if I've driven one of them either, and then I will also be able to test a left-hand drive car on UK roads, which is exactly what is going to happen and become my reality by the end of the year. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Head into the links into the description so you can check out VVS and of course Eurospares, who this whole series is partnered up with. I'll see you soon. Take care. Please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Goodbye.